Hi, followers of Christ. So, I want to talk to y'all about something. Well, I really just want to pick your brain or make you think, however you want to look at it. So, on my journey of following Christ, it has been one that has been up and down, in and out. There's always various variables to it, right? So, I have a question for you all. Have you ever had like one of those days where you just feel like you just can't get anything right? Or you planned a major trip and you have put in all this work to make this trip go as smoothly as possible, and it seems like everything that you do, everything that you've put in place is falling apart, even though it's out of your control. You can't do nothing about it. You have to go along with it, or you have to just accept what's happening. It frustrates you, right? Like it You try not to complain. You try not to bring attention to the things that are aggravating you about your plans or about the day. But no matter how hard you try, you are still frustrated. And you've tried to pray and you've like, Lord, I'm not going to complain. But still you feel in your heart some type of, you know, annoying feeling. How do you handle that? How do you handle being frustrated when you are in a position to feel like you shouldn't be frustrated, or you're in a position where you feel like you should be grateful? Example, you know, for years you've never been able to go on vacation, or I've never been able to go on vacation. And when God finally blessed me to have those opportunities to take my family on vacation, or to do something what I would consider a vacation, or at least try to get them, experience something new, uh, I try to plan it out very carefully, because it is something that is hard to do when you have a large family and you're on the lower income spectrum. And so the opportunity has came for you to be able to have that vacation, or to take your family somewhere, and you're like, okay, so let me plan this out, let me plan that out. And then you're planning. You're just like, I can make this work, I can make this work. But then the day finally comes and you have unexpected, unforeseen circumstances. It could be some expenses that were higher than what you thought. For example, you could have went online and researched things to do, and the online pricing had not been updated, and the location that you're going to doesn't want to honor the online price. So, and your family's all excited about it, and you don't want to let them down, but at the same time, you know that this is not what you budgeted for. So what do you do? How do you handle that? Do you um, give in to, first of all, do you have the funds? Do you have what it takes to um, go ahead and proceed with what you plan? Do you let the family down and say, we can't afford it, there's no way? Do you push the issue with the vendor and demand that they accept the prices, because by law they have to? What do you do? Like, you already know that this trip wouldn't even be happening if God hadn't moved things for you in a what's the word I'm looking for? Radical way. That's the word. So, to complain or to be frustrated about something seems to be um, unacceptable, right? When you in those type of situations, you have to give yourself a little grace, because you're still trying to get to know getting to know Jesus, and you're still trying to get to know God, and you're trying to get to a place of understanding and trust. And a lot of times, understanding does not mean necessarily understanding what's going to happen in your life. Understanding means that God does not always show you the full plan. And you understand that God does not always give you a yes, and you understand that. That's what understanding means. And sometimes when we're planning things that God has allowed us to plan, we think that that means, oh, well, he said we can go on this trip. He's made a way for me to go on this trip. So why is it now that we're here, we're in this position? And you don't understand why there's troubled waters. There's a situation. Well, he never did he say to you specifically, this trip is going to go as smooth as possible. You're not going to have any hiccups. He didn't say that. He did not give you that indication that this was going to be one of those flawless trips. So the understanding was God blessed me to be able to travel. And but at the same time, he did not say that it would not come without some challenges. So when you are on a path with God and you come across a challenge, or you come across a situation where you're frustrated and you feel guilty being frustrated because God blessed you, just take a step back and find out, why are you frustrated? And if it's due to that reason, give yourself a little grace, rewind back and say, this is an opportunity for God to lead me. This is an opportunity for God to show me what decision needs to be made. And he may even have you, well, maybe this is God's way of asking me to lean on my partner, or to have a conversation with my family as to why we can't go on this. Like, they said this online, and, maybe you got to have that transparency, and he's working on truth. Or maybe he's not working on you, but someone in your family. Maybe they need to hear no because they've never heard no. You never know. But at least you understand that God is still in the midst of that plan. And even though it's not going how you thought it would go, you have to trust that whatever's happening is something that God is in the midst of. And you used to seek him out and be like, okay, Lord, so this isn't a price. Did he bless me with enough funds to cover this? Can we cover this? And you make a decision. Either way, you follow through with your decision. And the sooner you're able to accept the reality of what is happening, peace will come over you. A lot of times, frustration is the agitation of not being able to change the circumstance. You're not frustrated because you can't do what you want to do, or because the price changed. You're frustrated because you can't do anything to change the current situation. All the options that you want to be put before you is not being granted to you. And that's why you're so frustrated. So you have to give in to the situation for what it is, and then have faith that God is going to provide you with an outcome. Now, it's one of those things where they say don't cry over spilled milk. If you think about it, that scenario or that analogy or that saying, this was your last glass of milk. You wanted this milk. You wanted to drink this milk. It had a purpose for you in your head. This milk was supposed to satisfy your thirst, along with curb your hunger until you were able to, eat or whatever. And it was nice and cold, and you don't have anything else to drink. So you spilled the milk. And you want to cry because you spilled the milk. Well, one thing the saying doesn't say or doesn't iterate is, was it all the milk that spilled out the glass? Did you waste the entire thing? If you did waste the entire thing, the whole glass is empty. Okay, I wasted milk. I'm still thirsty. Don't focus on the milk. You can't change that. There's nothing you can do. The milk is gone. So you have to go back to the original plan and say, okay, the point of this glass of milk, what was the purpose? Was it to like I said, quench your thirst, curb your hunger. So now you redirect it. Say, okay, I still have hunger. I still have thirst. How do I move forward? And you start making plans to move forward. But sitting there crying and looking at the milk is not going to change the outcome of the milk. So it puts you in a standstill. You're not moving forwards. You're not moving backwards. You're just crying. Is the crying going to hydrate you? Is it going to curb your hunger? What is it going to do for you? It may, if the crying is part of the process, then great. You've done what you need to do. Now you can clean up the milk. But to get yourself so frustrated to the point to where you are not in a position to alter or to move forward, you're just delaying. You're delaying the next step. You're delaying the future. So, and I'm speaking from experience. I'm speaking from something that I'm struggling with and trying to work on myself. So we have to work on not being frustrated, not crying over spilled milk, not being agitated, or when you go through it, like I used to tell my children this all the time, and I still believe this: we can't control how we feel when we feel. We can only control our actions after we feel the way that we feel. So you're gonna feel frustrated, but how long you stay frustrated, that's depending on your actions. You're gonna feel agitated, but how long you stay agitated, again, that depends on your actions. You can accept that this is what has happened, which will allow the frustration to move on forward, or you can continue to hold on to it and it will move into the next thing that you're doing, the next action that you make, or it can stall you out from doing anything. And I was bad about it. I'm still bad about it. I would get frustrated on something on Monday, and come Friday, I'm still frustrated about it. I will be so frustrated about it that I had a conversation with friend one, friend two, friend three, husband, kids. Like it will, you know, it will carry on into like all my conversations for the day because I'm so frustrated. And then I realized it's like, why am I still talking about this? There's nothing I can do about it. I can't change it. So I have to embrace that this happened and move on to the next step, or go to God and say, okay, Lord, what do I need to do? So um yeah, spilled milk is not something, and spilled milk can be anything. It don't have to be not something small. There are some big major things that happen that we just have to accept, and we have to trust God and look to Him and follow His lead. I'm talking about some scary stuff, getting bad diagnosis from the doctors, getting attacked financially. Either the bank done got robbed and they telling you can't have your money, to, your check being short because they made a mistake and they can't reprocess another one till this day, and you got a bill that you thought you was going to be able to pay today. It can be major things, but again, if you can't do anything on your end to change the outcome of it, or to address the issue and make the outcome what you would want it to be, that your end result, then you have to accept this is what it is, and this is what God is working on me with. So I have to move forward. I hope this blesses someone. Y'all just, pray together. We're gonna pray for each other when it comes to being frustrated and agitated, because it happens on a regular. So we're gonna pray. We're gonna pray, and we're going to have conversations with God about being frustrated and how we can improve that part of ourselves. So y'all have a blessed day.